What's up, guys? Welcome back to RedneckTunerTV. Today we're going to be working on the EJ. Stay tuned. So today we're going to be doing out with the old, in with the new. Everything that was good on the old EJ and is bad on the new EJ, we're going to swap over. We got all the parts on a table behind the camera. And there's a couple things that I'm going to need to replace, or actually swap over from the manual EJ to the auto EJ. Two of those things, there's two of them that I know of, which one of them would be obviously the flex plate. The flex plate needs to be replaced with a flywheel because this is what the clutch rides on. And this obviously is not a flywheel, it's a flex plate. This actually bolts up to the torque converter inside your transmission. So we replaced that. It was 8 bolts. That was really easy to do. Still got to get the old flywheel off. Now the other thing that needs to be switched over is, I don't really know the name of it, but it's this guy right here. Now what that does is it goes over top of the crankshaft gear on the outside here. And just like that, right over top of the timing belt. This is the timing belt. And what happens is that if you don't have that, and you accidentally drop the clutch too hard or stall it or something like that, this prevents the teeth on the crankshaft gear. It prevents them from slipping or skipping a gear.
Slipping a tooth.
Yeah, slipping a tooth, whatever. So other than that, we're just going to be swapping things out like this turbo feed line, turbo oil feed line.
Which we might have to take this off just to get this out of here because it's a pain in the balls.
Yep. So if you guys are doing this along with us, or if you guys are trying to do this yourselves, just make sure you remember where everything goes. That's a really big thing. And like we said, anything that looks too old and broken, we're gonna replace. So let's get to it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now to get to this point here, what we need to do is you actually need to take the harmonic balancer off. Here, I'll grab that real quick so you guys can see that. That's this thing right here. It has a little keyway inside of there that lines up with a keyway on here. That's pressed on there. Sometimes you need to take like a wooden mallet or a rubber mallet, one of the two, and just tap around the outside and it should wiggle right off. To get that off there, there's a 22mm bolt holding that in there. What I found best is that if you try using a breaker bar on it, you're just going to spin the whole engine assembly. It's just going to be like cranking it over. So I used a 22mm socket on an impactor, and that got it off so easy. So once you get that harmonic balancer off there, then you're left with the timing belt cover. Once you get the timing belt cover off, I think there's like 20-some bolts around the outside of it. The 2 end caps come off first, and then the middle one comes off last. So once you get to there, you can then install this and then reassemble. Cool. All right, guys, so we put in a long, hard day.
Not really.
I was hard. Okay.
But not long.
Oh, ouch. All right, we got oil everywhere, all right? Biggie's got beer everywhere, too.
I didn't spill beer everywhere. I just spilled just a drop.
Okay, anyway, so what we got done, I know it was a lot today, just a bunch of flipping around, doing a bunch of different things, going all over the place, and that's how it kind of was. When you guys do your swapping engines, if you guys have to take the wiring harness off, make sure you kind of give yourself a little bit better direction when you're taking everything off to actually plug things in. Because right now we have this thing, we don't even know where that goes. We're gonna have to reference some pictures because it's just, I don't know. I thought I had it in my mind when I was taking it apart, and it seems simple enough, but when you don't have items on here, it's really hard to plug everything back in.
When you take things off, don't go by just your mind. Take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I have for you.
Yeah.
I wasn't here to help Justin with this, so...
Yeah, no, I was doing it by myself. So I was just trying to get things done, just unplugging things as I went. So we got a bunch of vacuum lines, a bunch of different random things all hanging out. But we also don't have 90% of the stuff that's, you know, well, I don't want to say 90, but 60% of the stuff like the ordinary power steering pump, AC compressor, and stuff like that. But what we got done today is we got most of the wiring harness put on. We got the throttle bodies put back on, bolted down. The gaskets were fine, so we reused them. We reused a lot of gaskets in this.
We did have a little bit interesting...
Oh yeah, we had one bolt that was stripped out. The hole in the aluminum block that went actually into the block here was actually stripped out. So what we ended up doing was taking a drill bit, just the size, I think it was a size over the bolt, but you're supposed to go size under, but we didn't have a size under. Anyway, so, and we just reamed out maybe like 1/8 to 1/4 inch where it was stripped out. And luckily we still had enough threads to actually tighten the bolt back down, which was really easy. A lot of things, if you take your engine apart, you're gonna notice a bunch of these hoses are broken.
Yeah, so, I mean, it helps if you know what hoses you need, and you can go to an auto parts store and just get a length of hose.
And then cut it and then replace it as need be.
Yep, which is kind of what we had to do with one of our hoses.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, we had some hose left over.
I'll just lay that there.
By clipboard. Thankfully, we had some hose left over from the old EJ that was able to work for our new EJ.
Yeah.
So we were kind of lucky there.
Yeah, very lucky. What else do I have on this thing? Oh yeah, we got the the turbo oil feed line put back on. We had to replace that. It was kinked, so we thought we would replace it. We also got the exhaust manifold put back on, which we reused the exhaust gaskets, which they're not supposed to. They're one-time use. All of these gaskets you should replace. We're not going to because I'm cheap and I want to get this car back on the road and maybe make it last another 5,000 miles. So that is it. We got almost everything we thought we were going to get done today. There's a lot of stuff here and there's still a lot of stuff on the table. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff done. You got anything, Biggs?
No, not really. I mean, that table will start clearing up pretty quick as soon as we get this kind of figured out where we need to go. Yep,
and then we'll put the intake on there and all that stuff. So that's it for today. Well, I guess I'm going to be back tomorrow. You going to be coming back tomorrow?
Hopefully.
Okay. All right, cool. So we'll be back tomorrow, which will be next week's video. And if you like what you see here and you want to try it yourself, you can like our channel, you can comment, you can subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram at RedneckTunerTV. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Peace.
See you.